Different dharmas. As was revealed in Sri Aurobindo story, each phase of our life may have a different dharma. The dharma of the baby is to suckle, that of the teenager to study, and that of the adult to reach spiritual destiny. Our aims and purposes grow as we grow. Also, at any one time, there may not be one dharma, but many. You may simultaneously be a yoga practitioner, a teacher, a parent, a writer, an activist for a sane government. Additionally, there are different levels of strata of dharma. Alongside your individual dharma live the dharma of family, social group, race, nation, and even the evolutionary dharma of humanity itself. Though, for the greater good, our dharma may oppose that of a dysfunctional family or an aggressive nation, deep within our own spirit, we know that when individual and universal dharmas work together, when they support each other, a sense of peace and contentedness enters our soul. Dharma consists of 3 main levels. First, what must I do now, today, even if I am not sure of my life mission? Whatever my tasks, I must do them with joyous attention and loving care. Nurturing children, being pleasant and competent at work, tending to the body, all these are expressions of the dharma of the now. Yes, I have made mistakes in the past, and I take responsibility for their current consequences. I embrace mistakes without inviting them, because my soul learns from them. We must take responsibility for all our choices that have led us to this moment and act in the most noble way possible. Great minds have purposes. Little minds have wishes. Washington Irving. As part of living responsibly now, ask, what do I want to do in 6 months? Where do I want to be in 5 years? How can these surface goals and my inner ideals come together? Pondering the immediate future will, paradoxically, also help us live more fully the dharma of the moment. The second level of dharma is the full realization of one's life mission, the discovery of your personal work in this lifetime for your soul's evolution. This second level of dharma is realized when you are living for the reason that your soul taking birth in this body. Happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Helen Keller. When we realize our life's missions, we finally see all the twists and turns in our path that have brought us into the present moment. All the events of the past were the doorways and roads and turnstiles allowing us to stand precisely where we are now. For example, my intense training in music and voice production seemed futile when I realized that my dream of being an opera singer could not be fulfilled. Yet today I am eternally grateful for that education, for it has become the vehicle for the fulfillment of my true dharma, the means by which I can express my yogic art. My chanting, my ability to address large audiences, my recordings of mantras and invocations, all lean upon that critical vocal training over 30 years ago. Sri Aurobindo's years of scholarship seemed like odd training for a future yogi, yet his extensive scholarly experiences served his greater task of communicating what no human had been able to communicate ever before. Trust. Your difficulties will make sense someday. Steel, to be tempered, must enter the fire. Grain, to be bred, the mill. The third level of dharma is realized when we live the universal dharma, which is the same for all humankind, the evolution of consciousness, the heart of Sri Aurobindo's yoga. This is the step beyond being of value to my soul, being of value to future humanity. Our entire race moves towards this next level of fulfillment. If I am not part of the movement, I am slowing it down. You can be a plumber, an architect, a yoga teacher, or a laborer and simultaneously do Sri Aurobindo's yoga, attaining both personal fulfillment and universal progress. Thus far, evolution has been unfolding over millions of years based on nature's principles. Whether we call this intelligent design or natural selection, evolution has happened without the conscious choice of the evolvee. For the first time, we, the very objects of evolution, can consciously choose our course. Evolution is now a choice. When we make this choice, evolution is quickened and there is less suffering. During moments of powerful inner reflection, don't we realize we are beings of joy? Yet a deep agony veils the bliss. We feel frustrated and bound, haunted by the sense that we are living for individual ego and greed, not living the universal dharma, not fulfilling humanity's greater purpose. We must choose to connect with the universal life force, the divinity that desires our evolution and our freedom. We will then recognize that both our current bondage and our future freedom are simply our choice. To be what we are and to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end of life. Baruch Spinoza. The only purpose of yoga is transformation. Attending to the heart center. Deep inside the chest lies a quiet place where the soft whispers of conscience and wisdom reside, the heart center. In these antechambers, the spirit makes its home and has its deepest connection with the physical body. When we care enough to go within and listen, the heart center is always there to guide us. In the Aurobindonian model of yoga, we cannot have the evolution of consciousness without involution. Going within ourselves, involution, is the first step in yoga, exploring the hidden chambers of our heart to find our true self. Only then can we take the next essential step, bringing forth the latent divinity we have discovered to fully serve our Dharma. By going within and discovering the force that can manifest our Dharma, we transform mere existence into a joyous and purposeful life. Only a purposeful life can serve the greater Dharma of humankind by helping with the evolution of consciousness itself. It's not what you are, it's what you don't become that hurts. Oscar Levant. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. Begin your yoga practice with a time of quiet reflection. Become completely still and dissolve your mental activity into the vast warm whirlpool of your heart center. Become a vehicle for your soul. Seek out the true purpose for your practice. By doing this repeatedly, you will be able to find an intent behind each action you make. During your practice, return again and again to your heart center, bathe in its light, sincerely seek its counsel. At the end of your practice in Shavasana, immerse yourself completely in your heart center so that its luminous healing presence remains with you for the rest of the day. Through doing this patiently and consistently, your Dharma will inevitably be revealed. Indecision and commitment. What if we feel that two conflicting paths are both our Dharma? How do we choose? In other words, what if there is an apparent conflict in Dharma? The key word here is apparent. There cannot be conflict in Dharma. There can only be Dharma versus a false sense of duty, Dharma versus that which is seemingly correct or expected by society, Dharma versus the norm, Dharma versus the quick temporary solution. We must look beyond that which others expect of us and beyond the norm, beyond the convenient, and into the depths of ourselves to clarify what is truly our Dharma, and then choose Dharma even when it is a more difficult choice. This does not mean that we should abruptly turn our lives upside down, for not only is that violence, but it frequently lacks compassion for ourselves and others. Whether it takes days or years for our decision to manifest, we must balance our relentless march towards Dharma with both nonviolence and contentment. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John A. Shedd. What if our friends and family don't accept our new path or support our decisions? Years before the people living in the American colonies understood the need for independence, John Adams, the future president of the United States, eagerly tried to convince those he met that we need freedom. His words were greeted with indifference, resignation, or resistance. Discouraged, he wrote a letter to his wife, Abigail, in which he vented his frustrations. She wrote back, "John, remember your own words. There are only two types of people who have a commitment and people who are looking to follow someone who has a commitment." As John Adams' later success would demonstrate, when others feel the intensity of our personal commitment, they may be swayed by our conviction and even assist us in fulfilling our Dharma. Those who continue to oppose our path serve us too in the end by testing and strengthening our resolve to live our Dharma. The only true happiness comes from squandering ourselves for a purpose. William Cowper.